How's it going? Well, good to see you again, Bill.
Good to see you again too, Christie.
Today, we were looking up. We always record these on a Monday, so we kind of look at how the weekend's been because Mondays are really good indicators of how the weekend was with people out showing, putting in offers. A lot of offers happen on a weekend, and I like to look at the Cromford Report, which is we're very fortunate. You know that, right, Bill? Like we have
Right.
Michael Orr and Tina Tamboer, who are amazing statisticians, and they only focus on our MLS like this. So when I say our, I mean AR MLS, which covers Maricopa and Pinal County. So we have this great information source for us, and they are just chock full of everything. And if you've ever met Tina, she's a very funny person as well. So she's quite cool to receive information from because she's smart and she makes it fun. So therefore,
Oh,
we love her.
not the normal statistician that you think of. She's awesome.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, one of the things I was looking at the reports this morning, and what I was really surprised at is when we're looking at like a month over month comparison, we get these little charts, right? And although if it's a green arrow pointing up, that means we've seen an increase in activity. If it's a red arrow pointing down, we've seen a decrease. Just about every major city she highlights has turned to the green and up significant percentages. So where we look at 100 on her chart as being like, that's a balanced market, some markets like Paradise Valley are like 158 already. And some markets are like only two markets, one being Maricopa was lower, but Paradise Valley, Chandler, Gilbert, all these markets have kind of taken a big push up.
And I think that comes hand in hand with people finally getting back from their vacations. Now they have to move. And honestly, it's the rates are heading in the right direction. There's good news coming out about rates. And I think that's kind of what people are heading that way.
They said it was like the lowest rate in 10 months, right?
Yeah, it dropped down and then it unfortunately goes back up a little bit. The ebbs and flows of the market.
Right.
But, things are heading in the right direction. There is some uncertainty with like what the Fed will actually do compared to what they should do or what people think they should do, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it definitely seems like there was going to be a cut, and that's why it's already been priced in. Investors think ahead. They don't think, all of a sudden, okay, rates get cut. They're going to all of a sudden flip that switch, right?
They don't react at the time of announcements. They're reacting prior to.
Exactly. They're going to make sure it's set up for success to where they don't lose a bunch of money, right?
Right.
And so that's where you're seeing these improvements in rates right now, is that the investors are preparing for a cut. Now, is it going to be an eighth cut, quarter cut, half cut? They don't know. They go based on percentages, right?
Gotcha.
I think, honestly, if there is a cut, it'll be probably an eighth or a quarter, and then it will then they're going to wait and see. So that's just my opinion. So there's some people that are hopeful that there'll be a half percent cut. I don't think that's going to happen, especially with
a long shot.
I think it's a long shot. I mean, you can't come back from it that quickly, especially with the reports that came out last week with some inflation on the PPI. So
I've been hearing the word stagflation a lot. So I'm not an economics person and I try and keep up on these things, but from what I understand, stagflation has something to do with the employment reports. And can you explain it to me?
That's a good question. Stagflation, essentially, inflation is increasing, and our employment is increasing as well, or decreasing. So you're hiring more people as inflation is increasing. So it's actually a very scary position to be in as a market.
Okay.
Because at that point, you can't raise rates, you can't cut rates. You're kind of just stuck there, right?
That's the stagnation part of it.
Yes. So
I'm not referring to an animal.
No.
Stagnation.
But there are plenty of market terms that do refer to the animals, but not this.
Exactly. Bears, donkeys. I don't know.
Bear market, all that good stuff.
I know. I don't know.
But it's just it's a scary position for the Fed if it does go into that position, because there's nothing they can really do to control it, right, or to change it.
Now I wonder. Now I also heard they're going to be increasing the minimum wage amount in January of this year. I'm sorry, January of next year coming up. So
cost of living, I wouldn't doubt that. I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, I can't remember the numbers exactly, but that I think is going to cause some concern for employment as well, because smaller businesses have to be really careful because now if they're paying 2 employees an extra $2 or $3 an hour. Now they may be able to not have a third employee. So that cuts out someone from the market.
Well,
Like,
but one thing I think,
too.
one thing you look at with the jobs report, there is some cracking into that already. So I think unfortunately there is going to be some cracking there, and we won't get into that stagflation market, but the minimum wage increase, especially at the federal level, is definitely an area of concern for that inflation market. It's not, I mean, let's be honest, companies aren't going to just eat that increase, right?
No, they can't. No, I get it. And hence, this is why the tip jars come out a lot now. People in certain industries, they pay less, so they have tip jars to compensate, which I think because I'm a Gemini, I see both sides of, I see both sides of each story. And so it's hard to say one way or the other, but I feel for small businesses mostly because we are one, right? Like as a real estate agent, we are small businesses, and it's tough. And we have clients and friends who are all small business owners, and what they go through when there's more cost out of their pocket. So it's rough, and I totally feel for them. So, but when I look at it from our perspective and what we're doing, how do we help people try and get into products, get into loans? This is why it's really important that you have a lender and a realtor who can help every client with what they are currently doing, right? We never want to put someone into a product that they will fail at. Like you said, we want to set everybody up for success when it comes to how they buy a home, right? We don't want anybody to ever lose a home. We want them to stay there as long as possible.
Yeah. And it's all about giving the client options. The same options in lending that you give one person isn't going to work for the next person, right?
Right.
That's the beauty of finding that solution and making sure that you're having those budget conversations. But in my opinion, it's still a great market. It's still a great opportunity for the buyers and opportunity for the sellers in their future. So I think things are heading in the right direction. There's a lot of doom and gloom reports and all that out there, but honestly, it's, there's a lot of people that need to move. It's time to move.
Right.
So it's gonna, I think we always break it up in the seasons, right? When it comes to the real estate, but I think we're going to finish out 2025. I had to look at my calendar for a second.
Yeah, I know, right?
2025. I think it's going to be a strong finish.
I'm already feeling it. Yes, I'm already feeling it. I've gotten, clients under contract this past week, buyers who weren't really around much, new buyers who are coming into town. I'm getting a lot of relocations to Arizona from all over the place.
Well, the property taxes alone is highly desirable in the state of Arizona.
Yes, there's a lack of major natural disasters.
Yeah, we got heat. About it.
Oh, especially when Aaron's facing down the doorstep of the East Coast. Luckily, hurricane. Saw this really cool video of that hurricane plane that flew up into the eye, and it took some really cool photos. If you haven't seen that, you should look for it. It's awesome. But
Google.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm grateful you were here again today to have this conversation because, we keep having it, and it's because I think a lot of people haven't exactly heard the message yet or understand exactly how fast a market can flip, where you sometimes think you could have time or sleep on it. And I'm seeing this with clients now, with buyers especially, where they thought they had time, like I'll wait till tomorrow. And things are gone. Things that have sat on the market for months are now getting offers. Our condo market is still a little slow, unfortunately, and we're working on that, especially coming into the cooler months, where this is where we're going to see more condos being purchased because they're usually purchased by second home buyers. But so my suggestion now too is for the second home buyer, if you're looking for this winter to buy something, buy early, because we had a very pulled back spring last year, and I'm afraid it's going to let go. And people who waited last year are going to come into the market this year. Like you said, the end of the year is going to be busy, and I think this is going to be one of our communities that buy. In addition to that luxury market, when I see PV go up the way it did, Scottsdale going up the way it is, that just indicates that luxury market is coming back full force. So, if you're anyone
like a rubber band,
it is that. It's exactly that. So anybody in that buying power right now, talk to us sooner rather than later. Well, thanks again for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful week.
%.
Thanks.